So, welcome to our first Nayna's Conversations of 2026. I was chatting to Amy earlier this week about content for the rest of the month going into February. And she just, sometimes out of the mouths of babes, just said, she said, I think our community would find it really interesting to hear about how you and Linda go about planning a new season. And I suppose in particular how we've gone about spring summer 26. And you think, really? Anyway, so we've decided to go with it. And I thought what we should do is just kick off by saying, interestingly, neither Linda or I are designers or have been a product developer in a previous life. But I would say, I think it's fair to say that we have both grown up with a deep love of fabrics and yarns, dressmaking, all the things that were considered hobbies when we were kids, as opposed to a talent, God forbid. And I've also worked out today, although I'm beginning to wish I hadn't, that between us we've been serving customers for, I think it's approximately 97 years.
Yeah.
Just makes us both feel ridiculously old. But anyway, we'll skirt over that bit. I think it's fair to say we've both got a reasonable amount of experience at talking to people and serving people. So I thought before we go into actually what we do and how we go about it and how we've ended up where we ended up for spring, I thought we'd just take two minutes each to just tell you a little bit about ourselves and as non-designers, how we come to be doing this. Over to you first.
Okay. Yeah. So like Nayna said, from a very, very young age. So back in the day, your mum would make all of your clothes if you wanted to have something a bit different. And I think my mum was very good at getting me in fashionable pieces, even from the age of 5, but being age appropriate. So I can still remember my first ever piece that mum made, or the first one that I remember, was a camel trouser suit, round neck, A-line tunic, beautiful tailored trousers with a little white knitted jumper, and I was 5.
So you quite like that now.
And but the really interesting thing is that's still my go-to shape if you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I still like that. Just skimming away, nice trouser. So I think from the age of 5, and I just got that bug and that love of dressmaking, which has continued right through now.
And you are a seamstress.
Yeah.
Equally, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I've done several wedding dresses over the years for people. In fact, I've got one to do this year. And very briefly, this is very special because I made her auntie's wedding dress, who is my best friend from literally growing up together, and I'm now doing her niece's. So that to me is very special. But yeah, it's just like you say, a love of fabrics, yarns, and it's always been there. It's kind of in my DNA. Yeah.
And serving customers.
Yeah. I mean, my first ever job was in mother care, so mums and getting all their kit together, and I loved it. I used to love to plump up all the prams at the end of the day and the cots and make sure it was all nice. And then obviously went to work in an amazing independent men's and ladies wear shop. And I was there for 30 years before I joined Nayna. So definitely, it's always been there with me. Yeah.
Definitely in your DNA.
Definitely in my DNA, yeah. And I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's when I'm happiest, isn't it?
Definitely.
That's when I'm in my happy place, definitely. Yeah.
And my story's similar in many ways. So my mum's mum, and we always called her mama, was an amazing seamstress, completely untrained in any formal capacity, but would cut a pattern freehand. So never used a pattern. And when I was buying my Vogue patterns and making my own clothes, Mama used to laugh at me and say, "What are you doing?" And because I would follow it slavishly, even to cutting out the little triangles.
The notches I still do.
To make sure they match. So yeah, and from there, if I wasn't sewing my own clothes, I was making my own jumpers. I never did crochet. That's the one thing I didn't do.
No.
Tapestry, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. So um, I did say to Linda, and I don't know if I've just said it, so forgive me, that somebody somewhere might have spotted that we had a talent,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
No.
And my mum had a store on a market in Birmingham, and from about the age of 10, I used to go in with her every Saturday, which I loved. And then talk of the devil, that's my mum phoning now, but I'll call her back in a bit. And then Vera, who ran the sweet stall, offered me a better rate of pay, so I left her. I got headhunted at the age of 10.
And it just continued, really, didn't it?
And then, so yeah, I would say I've been serving customers since forever. And then obviously career developed on from there. But I suppose one of the things that I would say is that I had a role when I worked for George Davis. And it was when he was launching the George brand, which was 1,000 years ago. But I can remember that being asked my opinion on products, and I thought, why is he asking me? Because I'm not a bloke. I was on menswear at the time, and but then I actually realised that what he was saying to me was, no, you're the closest thing to the customer around this table, because I had a job that was kind of in the field and also in the office. He said, so you're the one talking to, if not the customers, certainly the store teams every week. So as far as we're concerned, you're the voice of the customer. And I hadn't thought about it like that. And then as time moved on, what I really, really loved doing in those product meetings with the team, the designers and the buying teams, was actually working through. And quite often he would say, so Nayna, what do you think? And it would be, well, actually, I'm a bit worried because, that top looks like is this length, and actually the only bottoms to go with it are this width. Therefore, you wouldn't put those two together. And he'd look at me and say, yeah, exactly. And then turn around and scold the product developers, which obviously made me very unpopular. But I suppose what we're both trying to say, is that there's an innate love of product. And I often say, if I introduce myself to anybody, that I'm not a designer, but I've got a really good eye. And I now say that about myself at the ripe age of 63, nearly 64. And I think we both have. And I think we both come at it from a point of view of, what's she going to wear that with? How is she going to wear that? And if we can't see that when we're putting things together, then it doesn't happen. Is probably the best way of putting it.
Absolutely.
So there you go. We're a pair of amateurs, but we do quite a good job.
Yeah.
So that's a bit about us. What I thought I'd ask Linda to do, because Linda, to be fair, generally kicks this off and does a grand job, is just talk about the process she goes through when it comes to planning a new collection.
Yeah,
okay. You tend to start it, don't you?
Yeah. So, basics, you kind of look to see what the industry colour palette's going to be, what the shapes are. So it's a good excuse to actually sit and look at runway catwalk shows and colours, and so you can imagine I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. And then also look at where we were last season. So what pieces are we going to carry over? What new pieces do we need to just inject into the new season to give it that refreshed look? Key styles, like Nayna said, if we've got a wide leg trouser, are we going to have enough tops that are going to absolutely work with that? So it's a whole kind of process where you just drop all of those bits of knowledge that you collect, and then start to kind of plot it and say, well, okay, we're going to need X amount of new styles. How does that work? How does that look? So there's a lot of research, and I have to say I absolutely love it. And that's kind of, I think that's where we get to.
Yeah. So, and we'd not normally, Linda will have done that work before we then go out and do our first trip to Italy.
Yeah.
And in reality, if a colour's going to be on trend, the factories are going to have it on the floor because they're making it for that season. And, you know, I mean, one of the things that kicks the whole trend season off is a show in Paris called Premier Vision. And because the trend starts there, and then they'll be in the fabrics 6 months later, and they'll be in the shops 6 months after that, potentially. Which may be slightly exaggerating the time frame, but you know, we will go into a factory and say, brilliant, they've got Cloud Dancer.
Yeah, there it is.
Exactly. And it's our job to kind of work out how we're going to put that together into collections that are workable for our customers. In terms of how we've approached spring 26, I think we have done it slightly differently. You may well are starting to see the effects of that already. When we launched autumn 25, you know, we had the shoot, we produced this, I think it was nearly 100 pages lookbook. Of course we all sat there thinking, it's amazing. Brilliant, aren't we fab? It went out, and I'm summarising massively, but generally the feedback was, it's amazing, but it's so amazing I've no idea what to buy. I just remember Elaine's feedback was that she'd so far written down 15 items or something, which came to £2,500. And that obviously isn't going to happen. And I think what we realised was that it was almost too much choice.
Too much, all in one go.
All in one go. So you go from the sublime to the ridiculous. So that was one thing we wanted to consider. Secondly, I think when I think back to my old life, working for big brands in the fashion industry, all too often you kind of clear everything out at the end of the season. Everything goes 40%, 60%, 70% off, and then wham bam, a week later, or sometimes overnight, frankly, you would start again with a new season. And you kind of go, so the black trouser that we've just marked down to 70%, and here's another black trouser. And I think the world's changed, thankfully, a lot since then. There's a real emphasis on waste. There's a real emphasis on, I think, how the consumer actually behaves. And I know none of us just say, right, okay, out with that then, and let's start again. So we really wanted to come at this, A, slowly, and B, in a way that actually, particularly for what we're calling transitional, which is kind of January, February, is introducing pieces that could that you could wear with your current wardrobe. And Linda coined a really lovely expression on Monday, and she said, well, it's like wearing your new favourites with your old favourites. And yeah, that's exactly it. So we're both sat here at the moment wearing the new Prato. I'll let Linda explain that in a minute. The new Prato jumper, otherwise known as the long sleeve crop box in it, which is a bit of a mouthful. So we are looking to abbreviate those rather wild descriptions. But these work brilliantly with what we've called monochrome, and we'll talk to you about that in a moment. So this, so the cool wool wide leg trouser, which served us very well in autumn, guess what? It's going to serve us very well for certainly the first quarter of this season. But we'll refresh it and we'll present it differently, and that's what this is about. So we've definitely that's the second thing we've done differently, I would say. And as I said, we call it our slowly release. The third thing, which we're both super proud of, is the reintroduction of foundation, which, wow, was that a big decision. We knew there was a demand, but without boring you with the detail, the minimums were terrifying. Anyway, we bit the bullet, booked it, and it's here, and we had an amazing response to it. We've still got plenty of it, by the way, just to say. But that's been wonderful. And to kind of get the feedback as there's the chocolate foundation is landing, or the cap sleeve tops, which were very much driven by the community, not me, frankly. I would have had a body, as we all know, but that's another subject. I'm not sore at all. But foundation is back, which is brilliant. And what we thought we'd do is just show you the general direction that the collection is going to go in, over the course of the next 2 to 3 months, without giving everything away.
Yeah.
Basically, I think it's fair to say. So I'm going to kick off.
Yeah.
So our first one is what we're calling earthy tones. You can see how we work. It's very simple. So up here, you can see, you'll recognise those colours from autumn. There's your chocolate. There's your mocha. These are the 4 new colours that the trends that we were following: Cloud Dancer, Cascade Green, Pink Flare, and Vibrant Orange. And that's why we've done what we've done with regard to the transitional range. We've put those hot colours in to sit with these neutrals, although you might argue that Cloud Dancer does a similar job. We know that we will get, well, not we will, we have, which will be here for March, a striped shirt.
Yeah.
And then just to give you a little flavour, because we have already said that we've got some fab prints coming in for later in the season. This is the sort of thing, sorry, it's really hard to work out which hand I should be using. We do have this lovely print coming in a fab shaped garment, and this gorgeous fuchsia pink. So you can see it starts here, really cut. No, it starts there, really cut. No, oh my God, you do it.
Here, starts here.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
That's it.
Starts there.
That
My
hand.
left brain, right brain would definitely not working then. So it starts here, very calm. Then we put some hot colours in, and then it gets even hotter as we get into March. So that's earthy tones.
Yeah.
Over to Linda.
Right, let's see what I can do.
Good luck.
Oh God, I know. So again, you can see here, so there's your monochrome, and we're calling this second one monochrome with a flash. So we know that the monochrome is still very, very key for the season. So here, like Nayna said, the cool wool pieces, the viscose knitted pant, all of those pieces are working brilliantly now, with a little bit of optic white here, which, whereas it was a slightly more, it was winter white, which we still have got some, but it's now transitioning into the optic white. And then we've added this lovely, which I'm wearing today, the carmine red. So there's your little flash. And there is a really lovely little scarf in there, which I have to say we've launched and it's virtually gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, great news.
And what we were really keen to do was to put a really fab print into each colour group. So as the season goes on, there'll be this fabulous black and white geometric print coming through. And that's going to be in an amazing, can I say?
You
or
might
should
as
we
well.
not? There'll be a top and a bottom, let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
Really, really gorgeous. And we know from looking around and just doing a little bit of window shopping that this is quite key, and you'll be seeing this come through. So, and what's really lovely about this season is we've got the 3 colour groups coming through, and each one just evolves as the season goes on. So as you buy a couple of pieces now, you'll be able to just extend the life of it, and it just carries on right the way through the summer or the 2026 season for spring summer. So that's our monochrome with a flash.
Just to say that we launched this I think yesterday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever.
Yesterday lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this carmine red is flying out.
Yes, you're loving it.
Yeah, definitely, which is great to know.
Yeah.
And we're going out to Italy again in about 2 weeks' time, and we've just both said, at the rate this is going, we'll need to buy something else that is equally gorgeous red.
Yeah. And I think, and hopefully you can see that on me, because I always say, I have got a fairer skin, I've got my grey hair, and you can see here it's a really flattering red. So if you are kind of thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that, for me, who isn't usually a red person, I'm loving this. So that speaks volumes, I think, doesn't it?
It does.
And then I'm going to do Sporty Nauticals,
which is the new one.
So this, we are super excited. This will be our next launch, which will be next week. So there'll be another lovely little drop of newness for you. And what's really exciting about this is we've been able to work with another one of our knitwear factories, which we absolutely love. And as the brand is growing and as our confidence is growing, we're feeling really happy about going back to them, aren't we? So there are some amazing knitwear pieces coming. There's a beautiful stripe, this really lovely navy knit, and what you can see there's an ecru. So this is where, bringing in your old favourites. We've got our lovely kind of barrel cream cotton and linen trouser, and our patch pocket in the linen cotton mix, the wide. So those will sit beautifully. So if you've got those, you'll be able to wear those with those pieces. And again there, and your power foundation and your midnight, that will all sit beautifully here. We'll also, obviously, the carmine red, as you can see here, drops in beautifully, and there's another really fab print scarf that will bring that all together. And then as the season goes through, then there's your third print, which is absolutely stunning, and this beautiful, your cascade green comes in, and then this is kind of, we've gone a little bit off piste here because they're not necessarily showing the cobalt, but
we like cobalt.
We know that you love it. It is such a good colour. So we've got this fabulous cobalt blue coming through, which again just brings that whole collection together and just evolves as the season goes on.
It does. So I hope that gives you a flavour of what we're up to and what's coming. We thought we'd share with you some key dates for the next, I guess, few weeks. So as Linda said, Sporty Nauticals, we're actually doing what we call a DIY shoot at home on Monday. And Amy's going to be assisting us to do that. And we're going to shoot Sporty Nauticals in totality. So that will definitely start to launch at the end of next week. So that'll be the third drop of newness, basically. In fact, that's probably our fourth drop, because we had foundation, earthy tones, monochrome, then Sporty Nauticals. And something that struck me last night, I messaged the girls this morning, and interestingly, a girlfriend of mine messaged to say she was out in her chocolate foundation, top to toe outfit, and had 3 compliments, and where could they buy it? And she said, have you got a lookbook? Well, no, the truth is we don't. We were kind of waiting till March. But we are going to attempt at doing like an interim lookbook next week, because we think we've got enough newness. So Amy's going to have a go at that for us. So all being well, we'll get that out. So you'll have one document that kind of shows everything that we've launched so far. Our main shoot is planned for the end of Feb. And we have everything crossed that we'll have all the garments, which would be helpful. But we're looking to launch that first by the end of the first week of March. That's the plan. And then what we'll see, as we've alluded to over the mood boards that Linda's shown you, and we'll have some of those pieces come through in April. Some of those, in fact, all of those pieces that we've alluded to here will be there for March or April. And then we have got some pieces that we're looking at for May, which are our direct response from feedback we've had from yourselves. Things that you've said, well, we should bring that back again. So we've got some prices, and we're looking at them, and we'll work that through with Franco when we go out next month. And that's it. That's spring 26. And then what I just wanted to add is that, and I'm putting pressure on myself here, but it's the right thing to do, because it usually puts a bomb up my bum, frankly.
We both need it, don't
we? We've been brainstorming for a while with lots of ideas for how we take Hope Curated by Nayna forward. And my commitment is that by this time next week, I will be able to say some of them out loud. And we'll probably just do a recording of me just chatting about where I see this going. I think when we've got so many good thoughts and ideas, and actually now's the time to start implementing them.
Definitely.
So once we've got the product launch out the way next week, then I'm going to sit down and commit to saying, right, okay, this is the plan. This is what we'd like to do, and just to get some thoughts from you as to what you think.
Mm.
Although that said, we've had lots of conversations
Yeah,
with
we have.
customers over the last 6 months,
Yeah.
so it isn't something
We
that
know.
we've just plucked out the air, is it?
No. It's...
Anyway, we'll see. That's it. So, Amy, I hope we've done the job. I hope we've fulfilled the brief as to how we go about putting a collection together, specifically this one, why it's different. We'd love to get your feedback, so
Yeah.
please tell us either in the comments section, which is dead easy on Substack, or drop us an email, hello@hopecuratedbynayna.co.uk. And not just about the product, just about the concept, you know, what we're doing. Is it, you know, does it work for you? Is it mad? That's it.
Yeah.
So we're going, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.